New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's uncertain political future. Pressure for the three-term Democrat to resign is mounting after one of his 11 accusers broke her silence in a tell-all interview with CBS this morning and the Albany Times-Union. Brittany Commisso, previously only known as Executive Assistant Number 1, says Cuomo groped her and claims that he knew what he was doing. The New York State Assembly met yesterday to discuss what possible impeachment proceedings would look like. They will look into not only the sexual assault allegations, but also the handling of the coronavirus pandemic. So for more on this, I want to bring in CBS News investigative reporter Graham Cates. Graham, thanks for joining us now. So we saw the very brief committee meeting yesterday of the New York State Assembly. The Judiciary Committee held the hearing on Monday to discuss impeachment proceedings against Governor Cuomo. Can you give us an idea of what the articles of impeachment may be that they're looking into?
So they have a really broad mandate. We've heard about the sexual harassment and assault allegations, but they've also been looking into the administration's handling of COVID deaths in nursing homes, as well as the use of state resources to produce the governor's memoir that was published last year, and even some lesser-known issues like allegations of covering up safety violations on the bridge named for his father, Mario Cuomo, which just opened in recent years. And so they've said, one of the things they pointed out was this has been an impeachment investigation that's been going on for several months. Just on the COVID issue alone, they said they've looked at 500,000 documents. And so they said, we're working with the Attorney General's information, but we have our own things. And this could be more broad than maybe the public understands at this point.
Sorry, can you also sort of go into some of the other things that they're looking into, the COVID-19 nursing home deaths and also a book deal as well, right?
Right. So last year, the governor produced a memoir that covered that was largely about the topic of his handling of COVID-19, which itself now is among the things they're investigating. And one of the allegations is that state employees and state resources were used to produce this book. And that's something that they're looking into as well, because, of course, that's not what the taxpayers are paying the governor to do.
That's very true. So while he's sort of facing the pressure, we are seeing resignations surrounding him. One of the governor's top aides, Melissa DeRosa, recently stepped down. She's, has been named several times in that report outlining the sexual harassment allegations. Could she be facing some sort of fallout, some sort of consequences?
Sure. One of the things in the report was these allegations of retaliation against people who raised issues with the governor. And Melissa DeRosa was really for a long time the number 2 to Andrew Cuomo, and is named several times in the AG's in the Attorney General's report as being among the shot callers when it came to decision making around these allegations in the governor's office. So you can expect that she could find herself among those who are getting sued from within the administration as the victims begin to pursue litigation in this.
And just really quickly, Graham, do we have any concept of a timeline? Like, I know I had heard that they wanted things kind of wrapped up by the fall. Does that mean completely wrapped up? Like, if there's going to be an impeachment trial, it will be done by the fall?
At the very least, what we know is that they want to be able to move forward with public hearings within the next several weeks, and maybe begin drawing up those articles of impeachment within several weeks. From there, though, they said that they would need to give the governor up to a month to craft his own defense. So, yeah, I mean, we could be talking about wrapping this whole thing up, whether it's by the fall or during the fall, but pretty soon. And, when we look at, I know that the second presidential impeachment was fast, but generally when you look at a process like this, you're talking about several months, but that's not what they're looking to do. Mm-hmm. And even though they say that their investigation is ongoing, we know that a majority of members of the assembly have already voiced their disapproval of the governor, their expectation that he will be impeached or that he should resign. So in some ways, the part where we're waiting to get to the trial is almost a foregone conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah, several members of the assembly, including members of his own party. Graham, thank you very much.
Thank you.